It doesn't matter because but you can watch them again later on. So what you have to do, you have to look at the causes, the transmission, the symptoms, and the prevention of malaria. Now, what I would suggest is on your document, you split the document into those 4 stages, into those 4 parts. Okay. It tells you a little bit of help. So the pathogens. Oh yes, we need to know what the word pathogen means. So what do you think a pathogen is? So basically, you may have learned about things called microbes, and microbes are very, very tiny living things like bacteria and viruses and fungi are the 3 usually, but you also now learn about something called protists. All these are single-cell organisms, so a living thing that is made out of only 1 cell. Actually, a virus isn't even technically a living thing, but nonetheless, you can call it a pathogen. A very, very tiny thing that can cause disease. Some bacteria are not pathogens because they don't cause disease, but all viruses are pathogens because all viruses cause disease. And some protists are pathogens because some protists cause disease. Some fungi are pathogens. So a pathogen is a microbe that can cause disease, and in this case, it's a protist. And it says the malarial protist. Well, it just means the protist. The malarial, just that word there, just means to do with malaria, which is the name of the disease up here. And so the malaria, has a life cycle that includes the mosquito. So what does life cycle mean? Well, I guess basically it means that a mosquito might get born. So we have birth. And then it would do something else, whatever it might do, a few different things, and then it would die. And then it would, it would mate. I guess it would mate with another mosquito, and then another mosquito would be born. All right, but part of its life cycle would, in this case, would be to Oh, hang on, sorry. The malarial, I'm confusing up the mosquito with a protist. So it gets born. Single cell organisms don't mate; they reproduce by asexual reproduction. So they just multiply on their own. So they get born and then they go into the mosquito, and maybe they would multiply. Multiply. And I guess we wouldn't have the word birth in that case. But so essentially, a life cycle is kind of how an organism gets born, reproduces, what else does it do over the course of its life, and then it repeats and so on. So that's what it means by life cycle. And it says that part of its life cycle is inside the mosquito. Now, then it said at the next bit, it says malaria causes recurrent episodes of fever and can be fatal. So fever, well, just means that you get high temperature, which can be quite bad for your. Actually, pretty much always, your body develops its own high temperature to kill the disease, to kill the pathogen. So it's not really the pathogen that directly causes the body to heat up. It's your defense mechanism that heats up to kill the invader. So you've got like a pathogen that's coming into your body, and your body decides to heat up, and then it would hopefully kill the thing that's invading you. Recurrent just means repeating, and then fatal just means it can kill you. So we're just translating the documents to start off with. Spread of malaria is controlled by preventing so vectors. I need to remind myself about vectors in a moment. The spread of malaria is controlled by preventing the vectors. Okay. So basically, a vector is something that can spread the disease. So in this case, the vector is the mosquito, and basically it is an animal that causes the disease to spread. Okay, so the spread is controlled by preventing the vector. So essentially, rather than so if we want to stop malaria from spreading, instead of looking at the actual pathogen, the protist, we instead try to stop the mosquitoes, which are the vectors. So you want to stop them from breeding, and you want to stop yourself from being bitten. So you want to reduce the amount of mosquitoes, because some of those mosquitoes can have malaria, and then they can give you malaria, which can be fatal. But we can also stop ourselves from being bitten by the mosquitoes as well. So a lot of the answer is in the question when you look at it and read it carefully. So I think mosquito nets would be important too. The text provided has all the, so provided, what does it mean? This text provided, I'm not sure what it means. Maybe it means the bit above. Has all the key facts. Your job is to add details, examples, and diagrams. Okay, so let's just make a few notes about that then. So all the things I've just said, I'm going to write it down in bullet points, okay? So basically we have, this is the list of all the all the keywords to include in your document. And what I would suggest you do is separate the document up into causes, transmission, symptom, and prevention of malaria. And the causes are basically, you're going to be talking about how mosquitoes spread it. Mosquitoes are a vector. And the transmission, the causes and the transmission. Right, the causes, or the transmission is via mosquitoes, I guess. The symptoms, we know it says already that you can have a fever, but there'll be other symptoms as well. So we'll look at those in a moment. And then the prevention is going to be, you're going to be mainly talking about the mosquito nets and to stop them from spreading. So we're now going to look at how do you stop mosquitoes from spreading, and also what are the other symptoms of malaria. So that'll be our extra detail, okay? Okay, so we've got now the definitions for all the words. We've got a picture of a protist. It says protista because it just means the plural of protist. And then we've got a couple of links here. We've got 3 different links. You can go to the website and find out more information. I've also copied a table that gives you the symptoms, how it's spread, and then treatment and prevention down here. And then over here we've got the life cycle that it was referring to earlier on. So it infects the liver and produces and reproduces asexually. So once it gets inside the liver, then that does a lot of damage. Malaria protist parasites in the blood of humans, and then the mosquito. Oh, I see. So the mosquito then feeds on the blood of humans, and then inside the mosquito, the malaria pathogen reproduces, and then the female mosquitoes bite the human, and then it gets back into another human, reproduces, and then another mosquito bites that human, and it spreads around. Okay,